Welcome back to Kiesel News, everybody. To start today off, we have some fucking bullshit news. I'm sure you guys have heard of this by now. But basically, there was a couple who went to a Disney Springs restaurant, and this guy's wife had an allergic reaction to some of the food there. Now, the people at the restaurant were repeatedly told about these nut and dairy allergies, and the wife still proceeded to die of an allergic reaction, despite the many warnings that the employees had got there. So obviously, the husband wants to sue Disney, right? Because he's like, well, fuck this is fucking bullshit. And he can't because he had signed up for a Disney Plus subscription, and apparently the Disney Plus terms of service states that once you sign up, you're not allowed to sue Disney in any way, shape, or form. Now, I guess this shows that you should actually read the terms of service, but for one, people know that people don't actually read the terms of service. That's why they make them so fucking long and convoluted. And like, a lot of the terms of service could be summed up into like 10 sentences, but it just goes on like pages and pages and pages, so that you can encourage people not to read them. And then boom, next thing you know, people are fucking not able to sue based on an allergic reaction because they didn't read the terms of service properly. Oh my god, this is fucking such bullshit, man. Like, you guys are Disney. You don't need to protect yourself from being sued. Like, you have more than enough money, too, to pay this guy what he's asking for. He's only asking for 50 grand, too. Like, 50 grand is chump change to Disney. Just give the man some sort of compensation for the ignorance of your workers. Like, god damn. On a more lighter note, Camila Mendes has been cast as Tila in the live-action Masters of the Universe movie. Now, when I first read this headline, I didn't see the picture, and I wasn't familiar with the actress, so I thought we were talking about fucking Camila Cabello, that singer who did, like, Havana and all that shit. And then she married Shawn Mendes or whatever. So I thought that they got her to play in the He-Man series, and I was like, what? But no, this makes more sense. And I have to admit, the casting does look pretty spot on, minus the red hair, obviously, but that's something that can easily be changed with dye. As for Camila Mendes' biography, she's been in nothing that I've heard of, aside from Riverdale, and a guest star in The Simpsons, but, yeah. Now, apparently, they're making a Madden biopic movie that follows the origin of the entire franchise. Why? Who is going to watch this? Like, now, I know I'm always shocked to see that there's even fans of the Madden series in general, but the games sell like absolute hotcakes, so there must be fans of the franchise. But even then, I doubt any fans of the franchise will be interested in seeing the story behind the game's creation. And also, why are they casting Nicolas Cage, of all people, in the movie? Like, how's he related to Madden anyway? Quick little story here. A gamer has spent over 500 grand to gain the highest account level on Steam, because, you know, you gain experience on Steam for purchasing shit. And, oh my god, dude, 500 grand? Like, come on, dude. Like if you like games that much, I'm sure there's a lot of free games that you could get. Like, okay, to be fair, I guarantee you most of this money isn't even spent on games. It's probably, like, microtransactions and shit. Oh my god, the 500 grand? That's insane. I thought I was insane spending, like, $100 on Clumsy Ninja when I was little. I mean, that's still pretty insane. Clumsy Ninja did not deserve the amount of money I gave it, but 500 grand? Jesus. Carl Weathers is going to be getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next week, and I think that's just absolutely awesome. It sucks that, you know, he obviously won't be able to enjoy this in person, but I think it's better late than never to honor him with something like this. Next up, the final season of You has wrapped filming, so I'd say that's pretty good for it's still coming out by the end of this year, as it's not like the show is super heavy on special effects or anything, so it shouldn't take too long in the editing process. I'm sure they could get it done in like 4 months-ish. I think so, right? Maybe early 2025 at the latest. But interestingly, I haven't been keeping up to date with any of like the casting announcements or anything like that, but apparently we have Tati Gabrielle confirmed as Marianne coming back for the 5th season, along with Will Battleheim and Nadia confirmed. But the most surprising returning character is Henry, apparently, Joe's son, who is played by a new actor named Frankie DeMeo. And he's actually like a grade school level kid. And last time we saw Henry, he was just a little baby, like a 1-year-old. So that implies that season 5 is going to have a relatively big time jump. So that's definitely not what I was expecting. I expected season 5 to take place immediately after season 4. So it'll definitely be interesting to see the direction the show takes. Good news, guys. There's no plans to bring the Minions into live action. Now, I don't know who asked this question or who even wanted to see the Minions in live action, but that would just be so cursed. Could you imagine the Minions in live action? Like, I think that's how you give kids nightmares. Like, I always complain about how I don't think there's enough genuine horror movies coming out anymore, but this would be the horror movie that you need. Who knows? In today's world where it seems like there's live action remakes of everything, maybe if Despicable Me gets even bigger than it is now, we'll eventually get a Despicable Me live action remake, and this will be a reality. In an update to the monkeypox situation from yesterday, it seems as though the situation is already getting worse, as we now have our first confirmed case outside of Africa, period, as far as I'm aware, but this is for sure the first case in Europe, being in Sweden. Apparently, it's also the most severe variant of monkeypox, but who really knows at this point? I'm just shocked to see it already spread to Europe like a day after it was declared an emergency. But this case was likely already in existence. They just didn't get tested for quite a while, most likely. So hopefully now that they've actually recognized it as a problem, it'll mean that there won't be any more cases. But who knows? I guess if it truly is a global health concern, then there should be cases all over the world, not just in one continent. But I hope it doesn't spread that far. For our last major story today, with the exception of Persona 3 Reload, people are now using CT scanners to see what cards are inside of Pokemon packs. Now, I think it's about time that people have started doing this, to be honest. I always viewed the cards as a major scam, especially for the target audience of kids. I fell victim to the cards for many years, because obviously I only cared about the rare cards like the EXs and all that shit, because who cares about any of the common cards? But unfortunately, that's all I ever seemed to get. Like, I collected cards for like 4 years, 5 years probably, and I only had a collection of maybe 30, 40 EXs in that whole time period, which I think is pretty insane, because I bought way more than 30 or 40 packs. I'll tell you that right now. Now, I know that's the whole point, and the whole fun of opening the packs is to see if you get rare cards or not, but I'm just saying, you can't shit on people for wanting to see what's in their packs. I definitely wouldn't blame, especially kids, if they wanted to do this to save their money, man. Alright, lastly today, we have some news on the Persona 3 Reload DLC, episode Aegis, aka The Answer. That's right. We finally got a trailer for it. We also have confirmation of the difficulty. The hardest difficulty, even though it's usually called Merciless in Persona games, is called Heartless this time. So, hopefully that means that it's even harder, because the answer was already known for being hard as fuck. So if they increase the difficulty, that'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, I really like what I see from the trailer so far, especially because the answer was never super fleshed out in the Fest version, and there wasn't a whole lot of character interactions or nothing. A lot of it was just battling, and the combat is already improved in Reload, so I'm sure a lot of the tedious grinding will be improved in this version as well. And also there's anime cutscenes now, which I don't recall there being in the original answer, so that's another improvement. I just have a little bit of hope that perhaps this version of the answer will link to the newer games in some way. Maybe it'll give you a new ending or something. Like, I don't know, because that was my one disappointment with Persona 3 Reload, really, was the fact that there wasn't a lot of new things added to it in general, aside from the linked episodes. Like, the plot itself remained pretty much the same, which I was glad about, but I was hoping personally for, like, a little epilogue that maybe took place after Persona 4 Arena or something, just something new to add to the story and stuff, especially with all the loose ends that have been left unanswered. Regardless of if we get that or not, though, I'm just happy to actually see the answer make its way into the game. Unfortunately, FemC is still dead, but getting one of the two is better than getting none.